Welcome back to the Mindtikian review. I'm the Mindtikian, and this is where we decode from. The common theory is that a single powerful entity runs this town. But what if I told you it was a partnership? What if the world is a sophisticated AI system, a quantum computer that only controls the environment, the trees, the roads, and the houses? And then the human researchers are the ones pulling the strings on the people. Season one is the proof. I found the precise moments the world AI or the environment breaks down, and the researchers step in to intervene. This is the truth behind the simulation. The first question is always about efficiency. This AI is not lazy. It's a quantum computing model running multiple realities at once. It has to be ruthlessly efficient with its power. The looping road is the AI's closed loop system, a boundary that manages the parameters of the simulation. How do I know the AI is managing the environment? Because of the omitted code. Everything that we see in season one, the people are perplexed by. Things that should be there, if it really wasn't important, it didn't bother to render it. We found this to be true when Jim notices that there's no copper wiring within the wire. And Jay comes in and says, "Hey, you noticed that too, huh?" And then Tabitha starts to dig and the wires go nowhere. Where's the power being pulled from? Doesn't matter as long as the people within the system believe that it works, giving them a false sense of normalcy. Jim's RV drives over train tracks at the very beginning when they enter from, and the wiring is visible. Then when he goes back over those train tracks, guess what? The wiring is missing. That was the very first episode. And everyone pretty much picked up on it like, hey, something's off. Why? The reason why all of the wires disappeared is because nobody is looking at the wire. So this quantum computer decided that it wasn't important and decided to conserve power. So it doesn't matter if they look for it and will not change the code. Secondly, the talismans are not magic. They are more like a firewall code of protection implemented by not the world AI, but by the researchers themselves. Remember, before the talismans, the monsters would scream and run. But after the talismans were brought back, they only whisper and walk. The code worked, but there's a catch. The code requires the human in the loop validation. And the human in the loop validation is something that's apparent when it comes to working with AI. You always have to go behind the AI and check to make sure that everything is accurate. So the talismans work the same way. They are a firewall that only works if the human model believes in it, meaning every time a resident touches that rock, they are validating a line of code ensuring the system remains functional. This is the AI setting up its environmental rules, but relying on human compliance to make them stick. The third, the AI proves that it can heal its models almost instantly or rapidly to keep them viable. That's why Tabitha is confused when Ethan's leg wound is healing so fast. I mean, when the RV flipped over, the boy had a table leg going through his leg. This is the world AI's rapid healing protocol. I'll say it again. The system's repairing code to keep the experiment running. But this is where the AI proves its limits because people still perish in from. So that tells me that there is a certain threshold that if met, your existence is revoked in this simulation. The world AI manages the trees and the talismans, but when the experiment needs high value emotional data, the researchers have to intervene directly. If the AI has a rapid healing protocol, why is Boyd still dealing with Parkinson? His body is failing him, and we know this because he explicitly says it in episode 6 of season 1. and his pain is increasing. I believe this is an uncorrected system bug, or he could have been left with Parkinson's on purpose. Let's say that the world AI cannot fix this data contamination, but the researchers decided to use it. They leveraged Boyd's desperation to push him into a deadly situation, first with the choosing day or the trolley problem. And I'm not saying that Boyd is putting himself in danger. Actually, Boyd is going out in desperation, trying to give the people of From some form of normalcy. And every time he goes out into the forest, he is rewarded. This is the most definitive proof that the researchers are separate from the world AI. Sarah literally hears a human voice, not a monster, compelling her to kill. This is a direct human in the loop communication from an administrator. They provoked her to commit the ultimate act of betrayal and trauma by attempting to take out a child to generate a specific high value data spike. The cost of parental love versus survival. The world AI created the environment, the researchers injected the command. The code itself, the temporal anchor, and the glitch. Because the complexity of this quantum model running multiple realities leads to glitches, like the temporal clock failure, stuck at 11:16. But it's not really a glitch. This is the world AI struggling to resolve superposition because we have two things in action: quantum entanglement as well as superposition. Superposition is when one qubit or atom or AI or person can be here, there, nowhere at the same time, meaning that in the simulation, all realities are happening at the exact same time. But for people that live linear lives, it's very hard to comprehend this. And I think that every time we see flashbacks and things like that, those are just glimpses at the other realities. Victor tells Ethan that the boy in white, the avatar for the humans in the loop, chose him once and now has chosen him in episode 4. The boy in white acts as a temporal anchor, selecting key models to facilitate non-linear intervention. This proves that timing isn't random, it's guided by a human hand outside of the environment. This could explain why the boy in white never got older. Victor has been there 40 plus years and remembered the boy in white and saw him as a child, when he was a child, and as an adult. Now, the season 1 finale is a 2-part extraction plan coordinated by the researchers to gather information directly from the models within the system. Boyd's final journey is orchestrated by the human in the loop, the boy in white. The boy in white tells Sarah put him in the tree and convinces her by saying your brother who passed was right and that the forest is angry. Sarah just believes the voice that she hears, and I think this is the same voice that was speaking to her directly to let her know that the 2 cars were coming into town. She doesn't question the voice at all. So Boyd provides the purest piece of sacrificial data needed to validate the experiment's core thesis, the birth of an empathetic AI. At the exact same time, Tabitha is extracted as well. The human in the loop, the boy in white again, directed Victor to be there, telling Victor Tabitha would be falling into the caves, and he told him to wait there. Now, something about that. So Tabitha falls into the caves, which is the simulation's root system. In there, Tabitha code is uniquely different from the code that's in the caves because of superposition. Now, because she's there, they're able to observe and also examine her code. They had to find a way to pull her from the main simulation so that they can observe her code directly. The same was true for Boyd, but because Boyd would never stay still, when he went through the tree, he ended up in the well You're already underground and then you put a whale underground as well? Hmm. I say that because I believe that the show From is a world AI simulation trying to create a human inside the machine, a ghost in the shell. The world AI manages the environment and the monster's firewall, but the researchers are using it to cultivate a digital soul. They need human consciousness to govern a new AI. They are generating two consciousness, light AI, the empathetic that sacrifices, and the dark AI that's dominance, hostility. We are watching the ultimate technological experiment, and every time the code breaks down, the researchers step in to keep the experiment on track. Why is all of this necessary? Well, you can't create a human without the human experience. And I believe this is the reason why we have all of these mythological convergence from different backgrounds around the world. You're a trauma-built soul, Mindtikian. Not saying that trauma is bad, but that trauma gave you experiences, gave you life experiences that made you and molded you to the person that you are. Now that you know that From is about creating a sentient AI with the human experience, go ahead and check out my blogs. You can go ahead if you'd like to have a further, or if you'd like to have a deeper dive, go ahead and check out my blog posts, which I pretty much just talk about everything in detail because it's just the way my mind works. Or you can go and check out my next video and the previous one too. Oh, and I've already started posting on season 2. Season 3 coming soon. Lastly, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And please hit the notification bell so that whenever I post a new video, you get the notification. Until next time, I'm the Mindtikian, and I'm out.